5 and Whale of a Night. 9 to 1 each of two.
Way. Off and running, and the English challenger, Hermes Harvest, shows the way as they go to the first. McNamara's Band up there on the inside. Bobby Joe right in the firing line too, and Lord Singapore not far off them as they rise to the first. Bobby Joe and McNamara's Band all safely over. Nuco at the back of the field with only one behind him, and that's Ryan in the early stages as they go to the first ditch. Fence number 2, and McNamara's Band on the inside of Bobby Joe. Hermes Harvest is third and Corket 4, and then comes Una's Choice, and they're followed over it by Wild Hyde and then Lord Singapore. Ultra Flutter towards the outside. Running on towards the third now, and Bobby Joe and Garrett Cotter showing just ahead of McNamara's Band, Hermes Harvest and Una's Choice. Then Wild Hyde, the top weight, followed by Corket, and then comes Ultra Flutter, and then Bishop's Hall. Papillon is next, followed by Lord Singapore. Then on the outside of these, it's Time for a Run, followed by Whale of a Night, and then Shanagari. Triferian is next, and then Solvang. Coming out of fence number 4, and Bobby Joe, the leader from McNamara's Band. Ultra Flutter, good jump by Una's Choice, takes him up a couple of places. Whale of a Night made a mistake there as they run on now towards the next fence, the second of the ditches. And Una's Choice shows just ahead of Bobby Joe on the inside. They're followed by Ultra Flutter. At the second ditch, Una's Choice, Bobby Joe, and Ultra Flutter. Corket is next, and then McNamara's Band. They're all safely over. And turning off the back straight for the first time, heading towards the next plain fence, and Una's Choice from Ultra Flutter in second. Then Bobby Joe 3, Corket in 4, then Bishop's Hall and Hermes Harvest and McNamara's Band. Lord Singapore is next with Time for a Run in Shanagari, then Wild Hyde, Una's Choice and Ultra Flutter together as they stream over that one. All 21 runners still standing as they run the turn into the straight for the first time. Heading up towards fence number 6. And Una's Choice with alongside Ultra Flutter. They're followed in third by Bobby Joe on the inside, and then McNamara's Band, Corket just behind them. Hermes Harvest towards the left of the picture ahead of Bishop's Hall, and then Time for a Run. At the fence before the stands, Ultra Flutter and Una's Choice. McNamara's Band, a mistake there by Wild Hyde as they come up to pass the stands. Ultra Flutter, bandaged in front, showing just ahead of Una's Choice. McNamara's Band towards the near side, Corket close in 4, Bobby Joe on the inner. Tracked by Wild Hyde, Hermes Harvest on the near side ahead of Lord Singapore and Bishop's Hall. And then comes Time for a Run and Shanagari, and behind the Papillon. Then comes Solvang and Whale of a Night, and then Triferian. Behind Triferian is Heist, and then Tell the Nipper. Further back in the field, Gimme 5 with Black Bar, Nuco last but 1, and Raihan brings up the rear. So go to the fence past the stands. Una's Choice, Ultra Flutter, McNamara's Band, Bobby Joe behind them on the inner. They're followed by Corket, and then comes Hermes Harvest. All safely over that one, coming up to the next plain fence. It's Una's Choice from Ultra Flutter, McNamara's Band towards the left ahead of Corket, Bobby Joe on the extreme right. Lord Singapore not far behind them, and then Time for a Run. Ultra Flutter leads there from Una's Choice. All safely over and passing the halfway stage as they swing towards the back straight, with Ultra Flutter the leader from Bobby Joe on the inside of Una's Choice. McNamara's Band is 4th, and they're followed by Corket, and behind Corket is Time for a Run. They have 8 fences to jump now in the Paddy Park chase, and Ultra Flutter leads. Una's Choice in 2nd, Bobby Joe, McNamara's Band. Hermes Harvest is 5th, Corket 6th, Time for a Run 7, Lord Singapore is next, and then Shanagari. Solvang is next, and they're followed by Papillon, Whale of a Night, Triferian and Heist, and behind these as they clear the next fence where McNamara's Band made quite a bad mistake. Nuco beginning to improve a few places, but they're well strung out as they race down the back. 7 to jump, Ultra Flutter leads. Una's Choice is 2nd, Bobby Joe is 3rd. In 4th place comes Hermes Harvest, and they're followed by Time for a Run, and then comes Shanagari improving on the outside, then Lord Singapore, McNamara's Band, Solvang, Corket is next, and they're followed over it by Papillon, Whale of a Night, Tell the Nipper is next, then Triferian, Nuco, then Heist, and behind Heist is Gimme 5, and then comes Raihan, Black Bar, and Wild Hyde is dropped right out and tailed off altogether as Bishop's Hall. 6 from home now, and it's Bobby Joe on the inside of Ultra Flutter and Una's Choice, and they're followed 4th place by Time for a Run. Then comes Shanagari, and behind Shanagari is Hermes Harvest, and they're followed by Solvang. Then Lord Singapore, McNamara's Band, Corket, then Tell the Nipper as they jump the next 5 from home. Bobby Joe, Una's Choice and Ultra Flutter all safely over the leaders as they race now towards the fourth last. And Bobby Joe in the lead, Una's Choice in second, Ultra Flutter is third. Fourth place is Shanagari, and then Time for a Run, and then comes Hermes Harvest, Lord Singapore. Solvang is next, then McNamara's Band, Bobby Joe from Una's Choice, Shanagari closing on the outside as they run now towards the final ditch, 3 from home in the Paddy Power chase, and the leader is Bobby Joe, joined by Shanagari. Then Time for a Run, then Una's Choice. Behind these is Hermes Harvest, Lord Singapore making steady progress, Tell the Nipper, and they're followed by Solvang. The final ditch, 3 from home. Bobby Joe is the leader from Shanagari in second. Then in third place is Time for a Run, then Hermes Harvest, and they're followed by Lord Singapore, Tell the Nipper creeping closer. They're followed by Una's Choice, Newco also making a bit of ground as they come down towards the second last now. Bobby Joe from Shanagari, Time for a Run, then Hermes Harvest, Lord Singapore and Tell the Nipper, and a gap to Newco, followed by Una's Choice, 2 from home in the Paddy Power. Bobby Joe in the lead, Time for a Run, Shanagari, then Lord Singapore, Tell the Nipper is next, then Hermes Harvest, a gap to Newco as they run the turn. Bobby Joe is the leader from Time for a Run. Then comes Lord Singapore. Then Shanagari bang there in the centre as they level up for the final fence now. And it's Shanagari from on the far side. Bobby Joe. They're followed by Hermes Harvest, the English challenger. Time for a Run on the near side with Lord Singapore, and then Tell the Nipper as they come to the final fence. Time for a Run from Shanagari and Hermes Harvest as they jump it, and it's Time for a Run, the leader. Time for a Run, the leader from Shanagari. They're followed in third place on the near side by Lord Singapore. Hermes Harvest and Tell the Nipper as they race into the closing pages. It's Time for a Run, the leader from Lord Singapore. Tell the Nipper is next with Shanagari, and racing up towards the finish. Time for a Run, the leader, being pressed all the time by Lord Singapore. Shanagari and Tell the Nipper as they race up towards the line. Time for a Run, Tell the Nipper. Time for a Run, just going to hold on. Time for a Run wins it from Lord Singapore, Tell the Nipper. Shanagari 4 and Hermes Harvest 5. Clear of Heist and Nipper at 14 to 1.